An ellipse is the set of all points in a plane whose distance from two fixed points in the plane gives a constant sum. So, ang tawag sa dalawang fixed point na iyon ay foci o plural ng focus. So, ito yung focus 1 at focus 2. So, pwede rin naman itong focus 1, ito yung focus 2. Pwede naman magkapalit. Now, the line that passes through these points is the principal axis of the ellipse. So, kung nasan yung focus, yun yung principal axis. Or kung nasaan ang may mas malaking diameter or longer diameter. So, that will be your principal axis. Now, halfway between the two foci is the center of the ellipse. So, this will be your center. No? This is the midpoint between the foci, the focus 1 and focus 2, and also the midpoint between the vertices. No? Ayan. And also the midpoint between the intercepts. So this will be your intercept, focus, vertices, and the minor axis. Now, ang tawag sa kalahati ng major axis ay semi-major axis. So, ito yun. Yan, yung kalahati. And semi-minor axis, yung kalahati din. So, these are the letters na gagamitin natin mamaya, no, to find the equation of this ellipse. No, so, tatanda natin na kapag sa focus, we have C, no, 0, and then vertices A0. No? Pwede rin itong maging mamaya sa pag ang principal axis ay y-axis. So, pwedeng ito ay maging intercept, yung A natin. And then 0B, so dito siya nakalocate sa y-axis. Yan. So, yun yung mga tatandaan nating letters. A, B, and C. So, ano pa yung mga pwede nating tandaan sa ellipse? No, sa distance. So, the distance between or from the origin to the vertex is A. And the distance from the vertex to another, from the origin rather, from another vertex is A also. So, therefore, the distance on this principal axis is equal to 2A. So, that is the distance when you add the length from the focus, no, up to any point on this ellipse, no, and from this point up to another focus. So, halimbawa, dito ka naglagay ng point. So, pag naglagay ka dyan ng line segment, pwede mo siyang i-add sa line segment dito na kinonect mo, no? Or, pag mayroon kang point dito, pag naglagay ka ng point dyan, no? And then, nilagyan mo ng linya dito, dyan. Okay. So, pag in-add mo to, from focus, for example, this is point 2. So, pag in-add mo from focus 1 up to point 2, plus point 2 up to focus 1. So, that will be also 2A. So, halimbawa, pag ito yung focus, ito yung dalawang focus, and then gagamit ka ng string. So, ito yung maglalagay ka ng any point on the ellipse, no? And then, mag-drawing ka ng ellipse from these two focus. So the standard form of the equation of ellipse is x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared is equal to 1. No, kapag ang principal axis mo ay ang x axis, the vertices would be at a0 and negative a0. The foci would be at c0 and negative c, 0. And the intercepts will be at 0b and 0, negative b. So, when you're going to find the values of a, b, and c, and one is missing, no, the formula that you're going to use is a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared. Now, you're going to use this equation if the center is at the origin or coordinate 0, 0. Okay, let us proceed to the other ellipse, which is the center again is at the origin, but the principal axis is located at the y-axis. No, so the intercept would be a0 pa din, negative a0, and focus mo nandito na sa y-axis. So that would be 0c, so that will be focus 1 and focus 2, 0, negative c, so that will be your foci. Okay, again, the standard form of the equation I'm going to use is x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared is equal to 1. So vertices would be at, again, 0b, 0 and positive and negative b, and then foci is at 0 and positive and negative c, and then a, or the intercept, is at positive and negative a0. So for example, we're going to find the standard form of the equation of an ellipse with foci at positive and negative 3, 0, and vertices at positive and negative 5, 0. Then sketch the graph. So given is at focus, or foci is at positive and negative 3, 0, and vertices is at positive negative 5, 0. So the first thing you should do is to find the values of a, b, and c. Now, we already know that the principal axis is the x-axis because the focus is located at positive and negative 3, 0. So therefore, the values of a is equal to 5, c is equal to 3, and b is missing. Since the principal axis is the x-axis, so this would be our pattern. No? So ito yung nasa principal axis, yung ating ellipse. And then, so therefore, ang ating vertices would be here, focus, and then intercept. So, nawala yung value ng b. Okay, so let us compute for the value of b. No? So, the formula, kapag ang ating principal axis ay nasa x-axis ay b squared is equal to a squared minus c squared. Galing siya sa formula ng a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared. No? So, therefore, ang a natin ay 5 minus 3 squared is equal to 25, which is 5 times 5, 25, minus 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So, b squared will become 16. No? And then, getting the square root of both sides, so that would be b is equal to positive and negative 4. So, b is equal to 4. So, therefore, your equation would be x squared over 5 squared plus y squared over 4 squared is equal to 1, which is x squared over 25 plus y squared over 16 is equal to 1. So, dito, guys, maraming nalilito dito kasi may mga tutorials na ang formula kapag ang principal axis ay nasa y-axis, nagiging x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared is equal to 1. Ang ano lang nun, ang pinaka-technique lang nun, kung ano yung may mas mataas na number sa a and b, no, siya yung ilalagay doon sa kung nasaan yung principal axis. So, halimbawa, dito, alam naman natin na ang principal axis ay x-axis. So, therefore, pagpipilian natin sa A at B, no, kung alin ang ilalagay sa ilalim ng x squared tsaka ng x squared kasi siya yung principal axis. So, dapat nasa ilalim niya yung mas mataas. So, since mas mataas ang 25, so therefore, nandun siya. Plus y squared over 16 is equal to 1. So, pag ginrap natin to, okay, graph mo natin yung focus. So, nandito si focus. Since ang iyong center ay nasa origin, so, nandito yung isang focus. Okay. And then, vertices is located here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here. No? And then, so, intercept is here. Sorry, wag nyo itong intindihin. And then, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here. So, ibig sabihin, this would be your ellipse. Ayan. Okay, let us proceed to problem number 2. Okay, solve for the length of the major and minor axis of the ellipse defined by the equation 4x squared plus 9y squared is equal to 36. And then, determine the vertices, the y-intercepts, and foci. Okay, solution natin dyan is to make or to convert the equation into standard form. So, if you have 4x squared over plus 9y squared is equal to 36, so therefore, di-divide mo lang siya sa 36, no, para maging 1 yung dito. So, therefore, magkakaroon ka ng x squared over 9, which is 36 divided by 4 is 9, plus y squared over 4, which is yung 36 divided by 9 is 4, and 36 divided by 36 is 1. So, therefore, the values of a, b, and c are 3, 2, and c is missing. No? So, since alam naman natin na mas mataas yung nasa ilalim ni x squared, so therefore, ang principal axis mo ay nasa x-axis. So, therefore, ang a mo ay 3, which is the square root of 9, and b is 2, which is the square root of 4, and c is missing, or the value of c is missing. So, therefore, you have c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. So, c squared is equal to 3 squared, no, for the value of a, minus 2 squared is equal to 9 minus 4, which is equal to 5. So, therefore, the value of c is equal to the square root of 5, or approximately 2.24. No? So, let us have the vertices is at positive and negative 3, 0. No? Focus or foci is at positive, negative, square root of 5, 0. And intercept is at 0 and positive and negative 2. No? Then, since the length of the minor axis is 2b, no? So, therefore, 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Ito yung distance na pinag-uusapan natin kanina. No? Na ang length ng bawat, saan ba yan? So, ito yon. Ang length nito, di ba, ay A, so 2A. Ito naman B, so 2B. So, ang hinahanap kasi ay length ng major axis at saka minor axis. So, therefore, ang length ng major axis ay nasa vertices, which is 3. No? Then, formula is 2 times A. So, that will be the value of the vertices, which is 3. So, that would be 2 times 3 is equal to 6. And then, the length of minor axis is located, no, o makikita sa intercept, which is 2. So, therefore, 2b or 2 times b is equal to 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. Okay, let us proceed to problem number 3. So, an ellipse has its foci at 0, positive, negative, square root of 12, and vertices at positive, 0, positive, negative 4. So, determine its equation in standard form. So, dito pa lang guys, may clue na tayo kung nasaan ang major axis, which is nasa y-axis. Tingnan niyo yung foci. Ayan. Which is 0, positive, negative, square root of 12. Now, the center of this is again nasa origin pa din, and vertices at 0, positive, negative 4. Okay, let us now determine the standard form of the equation. So, since ang foci mo ay 0, positive, negative 12, so therefore, square root of 12 rather, therefore, ang value ng c mo is square root of 12. So, ang vertices mo ay nasa 0, positive, negative 4, so therefore, ang value ng b mo, no, is equal to 4, so nawawala ang intercept. Since nasa y-axis ang kanyang major axis, ang magiging intercept mo na ay si A. No? So, kanina, ang formula, pag may nawawalang value natin ay b squared is equal to a squared plus c squared. So, since nawawala ay ang nawawala ay a squared, so therefore, you have a squared is equal to b squared minus c squared. So, tinransform mo lang from b squared is equal to a squared plus c squared, no? Tinransform mo lang siyang ganyan. Okay, so you have a is equal to 2, no? From a squared is equal to 4 squared is b squared minus square root of 12 squared. So, you have 16 minus 12. So, you have square root 4. No? Getting the square root of both sides, you could get the value of a is equal to the square root of 4, which is equal to 2. So, therefore, ang equation mo, no, since ang principal axis mo ay nasa y-axis, so, dito may lalagay yung 16 o yung mas mataas na number sa ilalim ng y squared. Okay, let us proceed to number 4. Problem number 4. Given the equation, 25x squared plus 9y squared is equal to 225. We're going to identify the principal axis and we're going to determine the following: the length of the major and minor axis, the coordinates of the vertices, the intercepts, and the foci. So, medyo madaming hinahanap dito. So, pag ganito ang given, gagawin natin, i-convert muna natin siya into standard form of equation ng ellipse, no, which is by dividing, no, all the numbers, no, or the numerical coefficients of x squared and y squared by 225 o kung ano yung number na nandito. So, since 225 yung nandito, divided by 225 lahat. So, therefore, you have x squared over 9, which is 225 divided by 25, plus y squared over 25, which is 225 divided by 9, is equal to 25, is equal to 1. No? Okay. So, alin ang mas mataas? Mas mataas yung 25, so therefore, nasa ilalim siya ng y, so therefore, nasa y-axis yung major axis. So, your a will be is equal to 9, or a squared is equal to 9. So, square root of 9 is 3. B squared is equal to 25. So, square root of 25 is equal to 5. So, lagyan natin square root. No? So, you have C ang nawawala. So, therefore, since nasa y-axis siya, no, ang ating formula to find the value of C is equal to C squared is equal to B squared minus A squared. Yung formula kanina, medyo lalaro-laruin nyo lang yon. Lilipat-lipatin nyo. Basta pag naglipat ng equal sign, nababago yung sign. Okay? So, C squared is equal to B squared minus A squared. So, C squared is equal to 5 squared minus 3 squared. So, therefore, you have C squared is equal to 25 minus 9. So, C squared is equal to 16. And the square root of 16 is 4. So, therefore, ang C mo na ngayon ay 4. So, meron ka ng value ng A, B, at C. No? So, ito yon 3, 5, and 4. Okay. So, since ang ating minor axis, ang formula ay 2 times A. So, therefore, 2 times A is equal to 2 times 3. Galing sa value ng A is equal to 6. So, that will be the length of your minor axis. And then, 2B, no, is the length of major axis equal to 2 times B is equal to 2 times 5 is equal to 10. So, kung papansin nyo, laging mas malaki yung major axis. Okay. So, vertices is at 0 and positive and negative 5 galing dito. Focus is at 0, positive and negative 4 galing din doon sa C. And then, intercept is at positive and negative 3, 0 galing sa value ng A.